when a foster child reaches the age of 18, they are removed from the foster care system and suddenly dropped into the real world. The International Student Foundation, though, is a group that is trying to ease this transition so that the young adults have mentoring and financial help to get them to college. Today we have Ashley Polito and Dustin Haley, and they're here to tell us why they need your help and to give us a little more information about this group. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Okay,
We're excited to be here.
I'm fascinated by this. So explain the foundation and how it works and how this need came about.
Great question. It actually started in 2007. It was founded by Ben and Dee Carroll, who are longtime residents of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and they just had a real heart and passion for wanting to help kids who are either orphaned or who have aged out of the foster care system get to college. But they saw two things that needed to happen. These kids had already done the hard part. They had overcome these insurmountable odds to get themselves into college, but now they needed financial assistance and they needed some support.
And I don't think a lot of people think about that there are these kids that have grown up in the foster care system and have had people take care of them financially for 18 years of their life, but then all of a sudden, if they want to go to college, who's footing that bill?
Right, exactly.
And we all know that college, my mom would agree, college is not cheap.
Right, exactly. And I think it's important to even take a step back for a minute and remember that these kids have been removed from their homes.
Right.
They've been taken away from their biological parents for a reason, usually abuse or severe neglect, and they've been raised in a system. And if they have aged out of the system, what that means is that they have not been adopted and they have not been reunited with their families. And so now they're at this point where they're 18 years old and they are alone and they're left on their own to navigate life and to navigate college.
And that's where y'all come in to not only help them navigate college and navigate the finances that come behind, or the financial need that comes with college, but also the mentoring side of it. So explain the mentoring side of what y'all's group does.
Exactly. So after we accept one of these amazing youth into our program and we're providing them with scholarship assistance, we pair each youth with a personal mentor. So now they have one person that is completely dedicated to their success.
I love that. Okay, now one person that is kind of a success story of y'all's group is Dustin. So tell me your story and how you got hooked up with this and where you are now, and you have so much exciting news, I feel like.
Well, I joined ISF as a freshman in college, and ever since then I've just gotten more involved with the organization. My mentor Brad, like Ashley was saying, the mentorship really teaches you things that you're not going to learn just by yourself, and also just assistance in some ways that foster kids don't have the connections. And so I've had,
and as a foster kid, would you agree with that sometimes did you feel disadvantaged, like I didn't have the access to great college or great mentors that other kids growing up with did?
Oh, exactly. Just simple things of like going over to someone's house and like making the bed. Because in a foster care, I never was able to sleep over at anyone's house or go on trips. And so for me, I would go to people's houses and not make my bed because it's like I never thought of that. Or like writing thank you notes. It's like these little things that a mentorship. Some social
graces, maybe etiquette that you maybe hadn't even learned.
Exactly. And for me, I was completely oblivious of not knowing about these things. But now with the mentorship and other friends in life, I've been able to catch up per se.
Now, you mentioned that you've been with the group since you were a freshman. You're now in grad school, I hear.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me about your journey as far as education is taking you from like your bachelor's now to the master's program.
It's actually a doctorate program.
Oh, a doctorate. So. Excuse me, doctor.
No. Just.
I love that though. I'll just call you doctor from now on.
No, you're fine. But I've always wanted to help people, and so I chose to go into physical therapy.
Wow.
I really like the interaction you get with the patients, as well as the whole progress you see for their recovery. And I think the human body is amazing, how it can recover, and the amazing things you see in the hospitals and clinics. It's just, I don't know, it makes going to work a lot easier. So
wow. Well, we think you're amazing, and I think it's great, just given your background and your story, that you've been able to work with this foundation and kind of come out triumphant, right? Now, you were saying, I asked you before the break, I said, would you want to eventually be a mentor? Talk to me about the relationship you have with your mentor.
Well, it's really like a friendship. You know, I can always call on him if I need anything. I just saw him this past weekend with him and his wife, and we just went to lunch, and it's just nice to know that you have someone there. And they're moving to Florida, and so they're like, well, maybe next spring break we can go to Disney World. You know, and it's like, that's
you can
something.
get a trip out of this deal.
Yeah, that's something as a kid I never got to do, and so it's just really, helps fill the little gaps here and there.
Well, I love that for you. And Ashley, how can people get involved?
We would love for them to go to our website, www.isfsite.org, and we have an opportunity. We're always looking for great mentors. I mean, that is really the heartbeat of our organization, because we so believe in really giving to these kids. They have so much potential within themselves, and it just
They just need someone to kind of nudge them along a little bit.
That's right, and you'd be amazed. It just takes one conversation that could really change the whole course of this young person's life, and that's what we love doing.
Well, thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing your story. And I'm sure several people will be in touch with y'all to get involved in this amazing organization. If you would like to get more information about ISF, you can visit their website. That's isf.com, or it's isfsite.org, or you can visit their phone number. That's at 972-267-8188. We'll be back with more broadcasts right after this.